that brings us to the end of our program today. I'm so grateful to all of you who participated. Just to kind of tie everything together, I have tried to pull together some of the enormous body of amazing wisdom that was shared here today over the past 7, 8, 9 hours. We had 5,000 participants today. Thank you all for joining. That is definitely a record for us. And I think it just shows how much all of us are feeling the need for this type of engagement, this type of programming. I know I personally, I just miss being able to work with colleagues as much as I kind of value the change in pace. So getting a chance to hear from each other and experience each other was really valuable for everybody today. Here are some of the takeaways that I had and that I heard kind of thematically throughout the day. First of all, I think we all think it's been a really tough 2 years and nobody enjoyed these 2 years. And yet that doesn't mean we just want to go back to exactly the way things were before. That wasn't working for us either. And we think there's a chance to recalibrate now. Purpose and intention must be the backbone of our work. And it's interesting, recently I was talking to someone about, I hate to date myself, but I entered the workforce in 1997. And at that time, you worked for a paycheck and you found your purpose in something you did on the side. They were not one and the same. And the world has changed so profoundly in that way, where the idea that we have to have purpose at work, we have to be setting an intention and living the intention we set through our work, or we're not going to do our best work. We're not going to find fulfillment. I think that's kind of a realization that we've all had. We also are all shouldering too much. And I think many of us who heard Angela Clark's session will think, I will think forever about her stop. She said she sometimes just needs a break. And so she stops at Burger King on the way home and eats her burger in the parking lot before she gets home so she can face the door. And I think that was just such a visceral image for us. We all need a little Burger King in the parking lot. And I also love that Sia Justice from Raytheon said, joy is a form of self-care. Find joy in your having self-care. And then the other kind of related theme that came up throughout the day is that not only do we have to find self-care because it's important and good for us, but because we have to be a role model. If we are not taking care of ourselves, we also are by definition not encouraging others to do the same. We have to find self-care, live self-care, and show others how to do it too. I think things have, the people are seeing progress. There's definitely more focus and emphasis on corporate diversity, equity, and inclusion than there has ever been. But there is still so much inequity in the workplace and everywhere. And it's draining. It's contributing to this burnout and this drain. A few speakers said this: we have more power and influence than we know. And sometimes I think we don't have enough power, we can't speak up, or we don't feel stable enough, but we have more than we know. And part of that is we have an obligation. It's our obligation to be vocal for ourselves and for others. We can ask for help. We need to seek support from other women and be a support for other women. It's time to stop trying to be perfect. This was definitely a theme. We're all trying to do too much, be too perfect. And really interesting session earlier with Reshma Saujani. Instead of us trying to fit everybody else's expectations, we have to fix this broken system that is expecting and demanding so much, particularly of women. A lot of our speakers today talked about making mistakes. We all make mistakes. And I love the idea of viewing them as a gift. Michelle Gadsden-Williams said this morning, every point of confusion is a moment of insight. I love that idea. And since our theme was lifting as we climb, there were many speakers who said, look, lifting each other up is primary. This isn't something you do after the fact. We all have to make it part of the work we do every day. And I think of this amazing marathon runner, Shailene Flanagan, who when she gets to the end to win a race, she doesn't cross the finish line alone. She goes back and gets the other women running with her. She says, it's not so lonely at the top if others come along with you, if you bring others along with you. And then our last takeaway of the day, I think we had these amazing speakers. Each of them was breathtaking. And I think it's so poignant how much our stories matter. Telling our stories matter. Some of the most important and impressive moments were when our speakers were willing to be vulnerable and share their stories. It helps connect us and lift each other up. So thank you to our speakers. Thanks to all of you for participating. And I'll hand it back over to Georgine to close out the day.
As Romy said, we had amazing conversations, but it doesn't have to end here. Just create your Fairygodboss member account and you get to be part of paying it forward and lifting each other up. We're the largest career community for women, and we can't wait for you to join us every day. You can also connect with us on social, and please take our brief survey so that we can learn what the day was like for you and improve. And of course, none of this would have been possible without the support of our amazing sponsors. Thank you again to Cisco for being our platinum sponsor, and also Robinhood, RBC Wealth Management, ServiceNow, ABB Dish, General Motors, Indeed, KinderCare Education, Pfizer, Ciex, Phenomenex, Spectrum, Stop and Shop, United Health Group, Conferences for Women, Henkel, Johnson & Johnson, Lumen, Memorial Sloan Kettering, and Northwestern Mutual. For everything you do to support women today at our summit and in the workplace every day. It has been a long and interesting set of speakers, networking sessions, and we're so excited that you joined us today. Thank you again, and we hope you all have a restful evening filled with self-care.
And the last thing is I definitely want to thank Katie Farello, who produced this entire event from behind the scenes. She did an amazing job. Thank you so much, Katie. Thank you to Bonnie from Cisco. Thanks to everyone who's part of putting this all together. Thank you.